Hi, we're Shane and Karli, and this is our boat, TruNorth. Both being self employed and overworked, we decided to ditch the 9 to 5 lifestyle in search for freedom and adventure. And boy, did we find it. We hope you'll join us on our journey of discovering our true north by subscribing to our channel. We bought a boat, and we love it. True North has provided endless joy and true adventure as we explore new places and see new things. But it isn't always beautiful sunsets and warm weather, not all the time. There are some real challenges to owning a boat. So, to help you understand, we came up with the top 3 words that come to mind when we think about boat ownership.
Definitely expensive. Yeah. I think it's definitely one of those things that you have to be very handy in every aspect, electronics, plumbing, mechanical, carpentry, fiberglass, all of it, or have a whole lot of money to spend.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I thought, we were able to pay cash for our boat. And so I thought, great, we don't have a payment. That is not actually true. We have payments. It just goes into the fuel tank. It goes into, just little random things that need to be tweaked or fixed, or there's just a lot of expenses that I didn't expect.
So
That's right. Each fuel dock stop gives my heart palpitations, but luckily, our tanks take us a decent distance, but even that really depends on several factors like currents, wind, how heavy your boat is, and how hard you push your engines.
the maintenance stuff, and it's not like I'm sure everybody has those experiences where they're going to work on something, so they go to Home Depot, and every time you go to Home Depot, it equals 15 more trips to Home Depot. You don't have that option on a boat. You should probably have a whole bunch of supplies with you, and then you have to MacGyver stuff until you can get to a port.
We've not only spent money on boat repairs, but also on backup supplies. If you're out in the ocean somewhere and you need to repair something, you need a stockpile of basic supplies that can be used to fix whatever it is that's giving you issues. Another expense that surprised me are marina charges. So, anchoring out is free. You drop an anchor, but you're gonna need to go into a marina. Um, we do for groceries, to pump out, to fill up with water, for fuel. Um, and then it's just nice, to stay every couple of days where you can actually get off of the boat, not into a dinghy, but step onto a dock, just to have that freedom to roam around as you please. And especially right now, it's cold. It's not cold where we are, but it's been cool, and so we've had to kind of, um, tweak our trips based off of, well, do we need groceries? Do we want to walk it? Are we Ubering? But marina charges were a little higher than I expected. Um, you
Yeah, me
know,
too.
yeah,
Yep.
I think you're gonna pay somewhere around three, sometimes $4 a foot.
Per foot, yeah.
$3 to $4 per foot in our boat ends up being around 153 to about $204 per night.
We're doing the math on buying it and what the trip was going to cost us, and I was using Navionics by Garmin, which is a mapping program. It's kind of like a GPS for a boat, and it has the marinas and stuff on there, and it has their prices and everything. Well, I have since learned, being on the boat, that 99% of those prices are vastly outdated. So a lot of them will say like a dollar fifty a foot. And like the ones that say a dollar fifty a foot, they're usually about $3 a foot, 3.25 a foot. So
Yeah, it's definitely important to call ahead of time because, if you don't need all the bells and whistles, you can stay at a marina for $2 a foot, sometimes 250, 265, something like that.
Yeah, and there's the really nice, like, it sounds weird, but once you're in the boating world, you kind of hear it more. There's a yachty experience at a marina,
Hmm.
and then there's just a marina.
Just because you bring your house with you doesn't mean a cheap stay. You're often paying hotel prices to dock overnight, but the benefits are there, especially marinas that are located close to shopping and restaurants. Um, yeah, jump on the boat and it's carefree island living. Um, it's getting better.
Yeah, yeah, and we bought an older boat. It's been well taken care of, but it needed a little TLC, needed some updating, so we're learning some things along the way of what it needs, and we usually learn those at 2 o'clock in the morning by surprise. So
Yes, we've been woken up in the middle of the night with weird noises, and you're just always on guard. Well, he is always on guard. He is always listening, and he's like, "What is that noise?" So like my cell phone can ding, and he's like, "What is that?" He's just listening and paying attention, and I think that's really important. And we have something called marriage savers that I think are very important because when we first, we were working together on the boat, he needed something and he was just yelling it, and I'm like, "Don't yell at me." Um, and so we
I'm
got
yelling to, not at.
so we got headsets and we call those marriage savers, and they've been great.
Yeah, absolutely.
They definitely help with communication, uh, and especially, I mean, I just didn't know a whole lot about what I was supposed to be doing, with ropes and anchors, and so I'm outside trying to do stuff, and so that's been fantastic just for him to be able to say, "Okay, now do this," with that "I love you" voice. I still need that "I love you" voice, and so that's been fantastic. I would say that's really the only stress I've had.
I do want to say that I don't want to be that person that says, I think often people will have their own perspective, their own experience, and that's the experience, that's the perspective. So I do want to say that your experience can be much worse
Mm,
than ours and much greater than ours. At the end of the day, it really comes down to what kind of boat did you buy?
mhm,
How big is it? How hard is it to navigate? How new are the electronics? How new is the boat? Is every single system on the boat ready to go? You'll still have issues. I mean, there's channels we watch on YouTube and stuff. There's people that have brand new boats and they're constantly getting warranty work done, but it lessens it a lot.
mhm,
So, heard it said that being on a boat is very high highs, very low lows. That is very true,
mhm.
but the highs and even just the normal day stuff when you're just sitting and driving, just the scenery, the experiences. I think we've traveled around 600 miles right now at this point, but
I often refer to the boat as his mistress because she is demanding of his time, and will pull him out of bed in the middle of the night for whatever she needs. And I joke about that, but I'm willing to share him because she also provides opportunities that I just wouldn't have otherwise to see things that they'll forever be in my brain. Just amazing things. I love the dolphin. That's that's a big one for me, just to have them so close to the boat. But yeah, the scenes that you get to drive past, I keep taking pictures of sunrises and sunsets because they're just gorgeous and stunning, and the ability to stop at little towns that I've never visited before just because we're driving by them and they look interesting. We can hop on the dinghy and go check them out, and it's like an explorer's dream, and I am like a nomadic explorer. I love it, every bit of it.
Yeah.
That's it, the three words that come to mind when we think about boat life. We'd love to hear from you guys. What are the words that come to mind for you? And as always, we'd love to answer any questions you have, especially if they help you find the encouragement you need to take a step toward your own true north.